Coming up next on Making Moves, Phase 1 of the Regional Transportation Center opens. We'll take you on a tour and tell you why it's so important to the future of one of Jacksonville's most historic neighborhoods. We'll stop by the APTA Trans Tech Conference to check out some of the latest innovations in the transit industry, show you a long overdue upgrade that has some Northside bus passengers thrilled. And we'll go airborne to get a new perspective on JTA's autonomous vehicle test track. I'm Donna Deegan. These stories and more right now on Making Moves. Hello and welcome to Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. We're happy to have you with us. On today's show, the first phase of JTA's Regional Transportation Center is officially open. We'll have team coverage from the event and tell you how the new terminal is the start of a rebirth of one of Jacksonville's most historic neighborhoods. Then we head downtown to hear from some of transportation's top financial and technical minds. We'll also find out what has some Northside residents so excited about their next bus ride. But we begin with the opening of the new Intercity Bus Terminal. Making Moves Chief Correspondent Bill Milnes kicks off our team coverage at the grand opening of the facility that is now the new home for Greyhound and other intercity carriers like Megabus.
Progress often begins with a ribbon cutting. But rarely does such a ceremony represent the future like the opening of Jacksonville's new Intercity Bus Terminal.
I speak on behalf of the Board of Directors when I say that we are proud to celebrate the completion of this first phase of the JRTC and the revitalization of this once vibrant area.
In any other city, this may be just the opening of a new bus station. But on this day, here in Jacksonville, it is so much more. This is part of an idea for a new regional multimodal transportation center that began more than a decade ago and is the next phase in Jacksonville's transportation renaissance.
The story of how Greyhound came to be draws many parallels with that of the Jacksonville Regional Transportation Center. Like Greyhound, the JRTC began with a dream of making transportation more accessible to local residents. The JRTC is the product of a dream in action, an idea that refused to stay simply an idea, and great minds coming together to turn that idea into reality.
This new facility provides downtown visitors a new, vibrant, architecturally appealing structure where a parking lot once stood. To those travelers heading out to cities far and wide, or those arriving from other destinations on Greyhound or another long-distance carrier, they can now do so in a brand new 9,600 square foot terminal, complete with a cafe and technology upgrades expected for today's lifestyle, like AC power connections and USB ports right at their seats. But State Representative Jason Fisher pointed out the impact of this facility goes beyond the beautiful amenities.
You know, it's really easy to get caught up in some of the facts and figures about it, right? 9 bus bays, over 9,000 square feet, LED lighting, LEED certified, great, fantastic tech-based things going on here. But for me, it's 3 big things with the project like this. It increases economic opportunities here in our city. It helps people be more mobile, and you know, it helps alleviate traffic problems, right? So it increases our quality of life.
I look forward to watching people come together, because that's what this is all about. Communities connecting with each other. And as long as we do that, we will continue to be a great city.
The Intercity Bus Terminal is certainly a shiny new testament to transportation progress in Jacksonville. However, the next phase of the Transportation Center, currently under construction directly across the street from the IBT, will take everything to a whole new level never before seen in our city. And JTA CEO Nat Ford made sure everyone would be here to see it.
January 2020, this is a little teaser, you're going to be back here because right across the street is Phase 2. That's the Regional Transportation Center Phase 2. That will be the JTA headquarters building along with a true multimodal facility moving from Rosa Parks, where we currently have a great deal of our transfers and bus activity occurring there, will be relocated to this location, co-locating it with this facility. And so while the focus is on, and I think one of our speakers said that, the focus on today, first phase, this facility, Phase 2 is already under construction, so when you walk inside, just look across the street. We've already started work in terms of Phase 2, and that's on schedule. January 2020, put it on your calendar, and we expect to see you back then.
In LaVilla, Bill Milnes, JTA Making Moves.
As you just saw, the new Intercity Bus Terminal is a beautiful structure and much more accessible to both Interstates 95 and 10 than Greyhound's former 62-year-old facility on Pearl Street downtown. But as Making Moves correspondent Eugene Lindsay tells us, the real upgrade is coming in the once vibrant LaVilla neighborhood. The new terminal is part one in a renaissance that will eventually feature a new JTA headquarters and bus terminal, new housing, commercial offices, and retail.
Historic LaVilla, a once vibrant and thriving community that sits just on the outskirts of downtown Jacksonville. In its heyday, LaVilla was teeming with black-owned businesses and an area where families lived. And it was a mecca for entertainment. But as the years passed, the luster of LaVilla began to fade. Homeowners moved, and with fewer families in the area, business owners started shutting down their shops, and the once bustling streets fell quiet, no longer full of life. For years, there's been a push to revitalize LaVilla.
3, 2, 1.
And that push to restore LaVilla just got a major shot in the arm with the grand opening of Phase 1 of the JTA's Regional Transportation Center's Intercity Bus Terminal.
Shows that JTA is definitely a part of this community with the new home of Greyhound here. The economic boost, it's here. It's going to happen. The revitalization of LaVilla.
The JTA's vision for the Jacksonville Regional Transportation Center is to have a centralized hub offering a variety of transit options. In fact, JTA CEO Nat Ford referred to it as the Grand Central Station of the South. This regional transportation center will allow a traveler coming into Jacksonville on Greyhound to the new Intercity Bus Terminal to then connect to the JTA's main bus system. But your transportation choices won't end there.
You will also be able to take the Skyway or a different autonomous mode of transportation. There will also be other intercity carriers on hand like taxis and rideshare services like Uber, even bike sharing, and possibly Amtrak and commuter rail stations, all coming together right here in LaVilla. And in Phase 2 of the JRTC, the Jacksonville Transportation Authority will take another bold step in their commitment to LaVilla and move their corporate headquarters here as well.
We commend JTA for moving forward with the Regional Transportation Center that has been planned for quite some time. And now JTA is also moving its office building into the neighborhood as well. So not wanting to allow it just to be solely a transportation center, we're bringing it into a neighborhood.
A move some say will inspire other businesses to open up shop in the historic LaVilla district, saying the JTA and its Regional Transportation Center is leading the way to stimulate real economic development in LaVilla with its perfect mix of commercial retail, office space, and residential development. And you can already see the growth. New residential properties are booming, like this multi-story apartment complex that's currently under construction. The Lofts at Monroe is scheduled to start welcoming tenants this fall, while the brand new Lofts at LaVilla, that's conveniently located next to the JTA Skyway, recently opened its doors. And at the center of all of this new construction in LaVilla will be Phase 2 of the Regional Transportation Center, a structure that promises to be both iconic and eye-catching.
It's going to be a great facility. When we are connecting here with our bridge structure over to the new facility, the pedestrian bridge over from this facility over to the next, it's a safe passage from one side of the street to the other. And it's going to be absolutely connected as we move into, as Mr. Ford mentioned, the autonomous vehicle and how our building wraps around and encompasses, encapsulates where that station is going to be coming into the building. So this is exciting. I am elated and overly excited about what the next facility is going to be when everybody sees that.
In LaVilla, Eugene Lindsay, JTA, Making Moves.
Still to come here on Making Moves, find out why transit agencies across the country are looking to Jacksonville and the JTA for inspiration on building a better transportation operation. Then we head to the north side to check out some improvements to one of the authority's oldest transit hubs. That's next.
Commuting to and from work was costing me a lot of money. Now, with transit tax benefits, I can use pre-tax dollars to have a cheaper, more reliable way to work.
Transit commuter tax benefits save me real money. The cost of my commute is deducted before taxes are computed on my income. This tax savings allows me to collect about 3 months of transportation costs over a 12-month period.
Just ask your employer. It's that easy.
Your transit commuter tax benefit is waiting.
Going to work just became much nicer.
For most of us, eating healthy is just a matter of choice. We go to the nearest supermarket and pick out all the fresh produce we want. But how healthy would you be if all you had nearby was fast food restaurants and convenience stores filled with junk food and frozen pizzas? Every Friday, JTA's Rosa Parks Produce Market is helping you eat healthier with lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, all at reasonable prices. Rosa Parks helped change our world. Now the Rosa Parks Produce Market can help change your life.
Welcome back. In nearly every business, the goal is making money. And in today's world, how you get that money is rapidly changing. The old days of customers paying with cash is rapidly disappearing in favor of digital payments with programs like Apple Pay or other apps right on your smartphone. Public transit agencies are also looking at new and innovative ways to collect your fare and expedite the boarding process. So when the top people in the industry recently descended on Jacksonville for their annual conference, we sent our Making Moves cameras out to check out what the future holds in terms of fare collection.
So the G Lab, this is the Gen Fare Lab, and what we're doing today is we're going to be showing the next generation fare collection system. And what that means is, Gen Fare is historically noteworthy for being the fare box people. Our fare boxes are in JTA's buses. We're proud to be partners with JTA. What this is basically the fare box without the money. So this also does the mag stripes and the smart card taps and the phone down there. Mechanical validation, smart card taps, the same thing. So this is everything that you see in that lid, minus the cash box down below.
So the next use case is using facial recognition for automated fare collection. Now I'm pre-registered, I've created an account in the system. If I walk up to our terminal, the system immediately recognizes me and charges my account $2. So I've now been able to enter the transit system just using my face. No need to deal with the logistics of a ticket.
We also produce products that are for fare boxes. We have different types of devices. One's with long transports, one with short transports, whatever you need.
This is our validator for our Fare Connect product. So we have an embeddable software development kit. So what makes this really great is we are hardware agnostic. So you can take our technology and put it onto an existing reader, or we can work with you to find a reader that best suits your needs. as an agency partner that is. And what this does is this is installed either on a platform or at a gate or on a bus, and someone can either use NFC technology in their phone to validate their fare or scan a QR code very quickly, much like you see at airports nowadays, people using their phones to board a plane. And then all data is tracked in real time in our back office, our TOP system.
The transit hub at the Gateway Shopping Center on Norwood Avenue has been servicing Northside passengers for well over a decade. But much like the shopping center itself, the transit hub had seen better days. Until now. JTA recently finished a total overhaul of the Gateway hub, ripping out 2 old shelters and replacing them with 6 brand new First Coast Flyer shelters. Passengers tell Making Moves they are thrilled to see the upgrades come to their neighborhood.
I like it. I like the new designing of the whole remodeling that they did. It's more convenient.
The other ones were, they needed to be repaired. These are, I like these. If all of them got done like this, we'd be okay.
Along with the 6 new shelters, the hub also offers 2 ticket vending machines, real-time bus arrival information, and it even has solar-powered trash compactors to help keep the hub clean. Along with the transit hub upgrade, the JTA is also adding new sidewalks to much of the First Coast Flyer Green Line corridor to make it safer for customers to get to any of the Flyer stations. Up next, we'll get a totally new perspective of JTA's autonomous vehicle test track when a group of drone operators stop by for a tour. Stay with us.
145 over 92.
180 over 111. 182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent.
My memory is shot.
When I woke up, I couldn't speak.
I can't button up a shirt. I can't run.
I've had to learn to swallow again.
That's the only moments that I have. And I'm 33, so I never see this coming.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Had I done this, had I done that, hell, I messed up.
Get back on your plan, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed. Head to toe.
It's a beautiful day out here, sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it, let's go.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Hemming Plaza, downtown Jacksonville, where you can take a walk, catch a ride on the Skyway, or just sit down and relax. But in 1960, this place had a different feel. Change was in the air. So was violence. Members of the NAACP Youth Council then, many of them teenagers, held peaceful demonstrations at segregated white downtown lunch counters. Simmering tensions exploded on August 27th. A mob of some 200 whites with axe handles and baseball bats attacked the young protesters. Amos Ely, he's 79, remembers like it was yesterday.
They didn't just hit the sit-ins and the people like that. They hit the little lady that's coming from cleaning the lady's house and the janitor that's coming out of the thing. They didn't discriminate. If you was black, they beat you.
Somebody called it Axe Handle Saturday. The name stuck.
Axe Handle Saturday was just what I call a final act to put us colored people back in our place. But it was the one that straw that broke the camel's back.
Jacksonville historian Emily Liska.
After that point, there was movement by the city and moreover by the citizens of this city. There had to be a change.
It was common for guys our age to be called a nigger. And I guess people my age, we got used to that.
Amos was 26 then. Things were tough.
I was shining shoes. That's what I did for a living.
And waited for change to come.
Changes did come, and changes in hiring came.
The Jacksonville Coach Company ran buses back then. It was privately owned and situated here along Riverside Avenue. The company hired 8 black men, demanding they meet nearly impossible standards. Then, in almost spy-like secrecy, began to train them how to drive a bus.
All good things for black people in the South started on a bus.
With civil rights icon Rosa Parks in Montgomery, Alabama, when she refused to move to the back of a bus in December 1955. 5 years later, almost to the day, Amos Ely and 7 other men seated in the front drove into history. They were Jacksonville's first black bus drivers. But back then, Amos didn't give history much thought.
If you ask me, did I go in thinking that? No. You're just a bus driver.
All he knew was, for the first time, he had a job, a real one.
I had never made $100 in 1 week. I could work all day, which I did because it was me, it was something I loved, and make any amount of money you want to make. I had never been in that situation. So you hear people talking about, what did they do to you on the bus? I said, I got called the same thing on the bus that I got called off the bus. But I was carrying on $20 to $25 per day.
It was scary from the start. Amos used to live in this area between Jackson and Stonewall Streets when threats and fear forced him out of his home.
I had to move from there when we became bus drivers because that was too hard on my family because they knew they would have got bombed.
The drivers had to deal every day with threats and the venom of verbal attacks spewed, Amos says, by whites and blacks.
It was hostile. But in my age bracket, what some people now would call hostility was the norm. I've been called a nigger on the bus without a job. I was called a nigger on the bus with a job.
At work, they dealt with segregation.
We wasn't in the room, the driver's room with the white guys, but we made the same salary.
They also made surprise discoveries.
There was ignorance on both sides, and I thought all white people could read. They thought all black people couldn't read.
The Jacksonville Coach Company eventually went out of business. And in 1971, the agency that is now the Jacksonville Transportation Authority took over all of the public transit operations in the city. And Amos Ely, well, he just kept on driving.
The thing I like most about driving was Thursdays. Payday.
Amos retired from JTA after 36 years behind the wheel.
I think it's one of the saddest days. Got in my car, drove to the gate of the bus company, and sat and watched and cried.
Amos and the others made history. There's no question they paid the price. But was it worth it?
Yes. 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 It's a star in your crown that you didn't even expect.
In Jacksonville, Terry Casey for Making Moves.
Over the past couple of months, we've taken you to JTA's new Test and Learn track for autonomous vehicles to see what that program is like. Well, since then, the JTA has been giving tours and test rides to various groups, including folks from City Hall and One Spark. But one group decided to get its own perspective. Take a look.
For the organization that I represent, the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International, we advocate for all autonomous and robotic systems, and that's for the air, sea, and ground domains.
While they tend to be focused on drones as unmanned vehicles, that their organization includes things like autonomous transit vehicles are under that umbrella.
We are very interested in what the city is going to do to implement this technology. We're glad to see that they're trying out different vendors for the type of technology that they envision for moving people through the area.
An opportunity for us to really sit down and show them what we're working on. We have a common interest in the technology.
Most folks think about the drone environment and how we operate drones. Similar technology is used on autonomous ground transportation systems. All the autonomous systems are cousins of each other. The same sensors that's used on this ground transportation systems are the same sensors you'll fly on drones and similar on sea vessels like a ferry. So this is all interconnected, and as the technology continues to develop, as we understand how to implement this technology, I see a great future ahead for the city and the area.
Well, I came out just out of curiosity, to see what this vehicle looked like, how it behaved, whether I would be comfortable in something like this. At least at this point, they're in the test and development stage of it and everything, so it moves slowly. It's kind of reminiscent of getting on one of the trams, something like you've ridden at a theme park or something like that. So it wasn't uncomfortable at all. It's quite a nice little ride.
We can't put more vehicles on the road as the city grows in population and as the infrastructure builds up. We have to look at different and innovative ways of moving people, and this is a great solution to one of those problems.
This is a great group of folks to give us feedback because they're technically savvy. They're gonna ask the tough questions, and they're going to help us advance our program.
We're very excited about the implementation of this technology, and we are eager to support the city going forward.
And that wraps up this edition of Making Moves. We thank you for taking some time to join us. Remember, you can check out past episodes anytime online at jtafla.com, and you can also find stories and other exclusive content when you like our Facebook page at facebook.com/JTA Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. We hope to see you next time for another edition of Making Moves. Take care, everybody.